Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is John Ting. I'm your host for GreenCardGuys.tv. We're here to solve your immigration problem and maybe even prevent it in the first place. Friends, welcome to the show, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have. You can just drop it in the comments. We'll try our best to, I will try my best to point you in the right direction. That's what we're all about here and sharing knowledge for you. Okay, so thanks for tuning in. The topic for today, okay, today is Thursday. Oh, wait, not Thursday. Oh, getting ahead of myself. Today's Tuesday, October 25th. Okay, and today we're going to talk about can I file for a green card as a resident? Because a lot of folks are kind of stuck in this situation of thinking about should I become a citizen or should I not? Now, we're going to talk about several factors or things to consider when you want to file the application, petition, or just wait on it. Okay. So let's see here. So as you're tuning in, come out to the show. If you have any questions, welcome to drop in the comments. Also, if you are new to the show, they might not know about this, but we do offer free 15-minute preliminary discussion. It's it's free to you because you follow our channel. And the thing is that you have to provide the secret code and to their cares team. When you first call in, you speak to one of our cares team members. They're going to do the best they can to guide you and to help schedule you for an appointment. Now, unfortunately, we're not able to offer an appointment consultation with every single caller. I wish that was the case, but we have certain capacities, and but anyway, there's so many immigration problems out there. Unfortunately, there's usually typically we do have a free guide for most of those problems. So at least we can point you in the right direction. So speaking of that, there's already several guides available on our website. There's one for mandamus. There's a delays on your case, investor visa, family, employment based. If you're wanting to sponsor a candidate as an employee, and family based also. Okay, so let's see here. So that's the one for mandamus. So you go to our website, greencardguys.com, and the best way, by the way, is to get there, or how to find it, is you go down towards the bottom of the website. Okay, greencardguys.com, and let me see here. So anyway, let's go on to the first thing to consider when you're filing for residency for your spouse or significant other. Now, most people think that, I can sponsor a fiance. I know about that. Well, there's been a lot of callers that ask, well, can I sponsor a fiance visa as a resident? And unfortunately, no. There's no eligibility for you based on a permanent resident. So you have to, in that scenario, you definitely have to apply to become a citizen. If you're not too sure about your significant other, you don't want to get married just yet. You want to meet again in person to make sure that it's the right match, I guess you can say. So there's TV shows out there that what is it called, 90 Day Fiance or something. So, which, by the way, if you like that show, drop in the comments what's the next drama going on, or the current drama in that show. We're always chatting about that with the team. So the second thing you need to know, okay, what about filing as a resident, as a sponsor, okay, for your significant other is the beneficiary, your significant other, is that person living in the United States currently or abroad, okay, outside the U.S. Now, here's the deal. There's a lot more to consider if your significant other is in the United States, okay? Because typically when people call in about this scenario is your significant other has overstayed their visa or just here, entered America without any kind of visa at all, okay? And so which coming here without a visa is a different topic. We'll try to cover towards the end here. But, even if your significant other, your spouse has entered with a visa, but then overstayed their visa, then y'all know about this. You might know. If you don't know, you need to listen to this. You're going to accrue unlawful presence when you're over 18 years old. Okay. Over 18 years old. So, and this matters because whether you entered America illegally without a visa or not, or with a visa and you overstayed, uh, you would need a waiver if your sponsor is a permanent resident. And here's the deal: the key thing here is I'm going to share with you on the USCIS website. Okay, um, in applicability. Okay, so the first thing is that people wonder what's the magic? Why do I want to, why do people kind of, joke around and mess with you and say, you should find a spouse who's a US citizen? Oh, that's easy. Of course. Yeah, I'm sure it's very difficult. Number one, to even find the right match, okay, for yourself. And you might not even want to get married to someone. I get it. More people are talking about this. Um, this kind of scenario in life. So, anyways, even if you did find the right match for yourself, okay, for marriage, which we do recommend that though. If you're going to get married, try to find the right match. Do not enter a marriage for an immigration benefit, meaning you don't actually care, you don't actually care about the person. You don't love them. So, and because the consequence here, friends, is that immigration, if USCIS determines that you have marriage fraud, you're not going to be able to get any kind of immigration benefit in the future, aka resident status, green card, and then in the future become a citizen. So that's why you need to be very careful. We've had some people call in and actually admit that, and we had to tell them, sorry, you can't cannot hire us. I'm sorry. We're not going to offer you a quote or anything. So it's very important. We're looking out for the best interests of you. Even it's very important that you do not enter a marriage for immigration benefit only. Okay. So we do ask you, don't think that you can trick us, okay? Because if you think you can trick us, you won't be able to. Because here's the deal: we prepare you as best we can all the way through from step A to Z for the interview. Okay. And so they're going to, USCIS officers going to ask you certain questions that, you know, some are straightforward and some are a little bit tricky. But, at the end of the day, you need, need to be living with your spouse. And you might need, if you don't know what a quote unquote normal marriage household look like, I guess they all look a little different. I mean, yeah, not everyone has the same situation, but it'd be a little suspect if you don't have clothes in the same closet. Well, yeah, I get it. And maybe, and if you have a maybe if you have a really really big house, then you have separate closets. Okay, understandable. But yeah, generally, from what I hear from my friends, we all share closets for better or worse. Okay, so here's the deal: the waiver situation. What is this waiver? Why do I need it? If you Because number one, the reason I'm even sharing this in the first place today, this topic, is because people, y'all out there, some of y'all don't want to become a U.S. citizen. I don't know why. I think it's a great thing. When you become a U.S. citizen, you can have the ability to vote in these elections, local and federal and state. Actually, early voting in Texas just started yesterday. This is pretty exciting times. I really hope, if you know me by now, I really hope that the Democratic side can flip in Texas, okay, to make it blue. I'm not sure, but I really hope so. So if you're watching, you're in Texas, please tell all your friends and family, coworkers, consider blue. Okay. Anyways, back to the show. If you're joining just now, if you're new to the channel, thanks for joining us. We do offer free 15-minute preliminary discussion consultation with any of our attorneys. Okay. But you need to stay to the end of the show. We're going to usually try to stay on until 30 minutes, and we'll share the secret code towards that time. Okay. So before I go into and share the screen, hey, Gabby, for sure. You're in San Antonio. I think San Antonio, Behar County. Isn't that blue? I think so. I could be wrong. I don't follow San Antonio area that much in terms of politics, but we need to get our friends in the rural area, the counties and the rural counties, to vote blue. Okay. Okay. Here's the deal. If you are a resident, here's why applying to become a U.S. citizen is much better now, and it's because the unlawful presence. Oh, Bear County, Bear County. I thought I got that a little mispronounced. Thank you, Gabby. Um, what was it called? Yeah. So the unlawful presence is automatically waived when you have entered with a visa. Okay. So, but only if the sponsor is a U.S. citizen. Because here I'm going to show you my screen. Some of y'all out there are familiar with the visa bulletin. Okay, here we go. Some of y'all are familiar with this. Let me move my name here if I can. Okay, let me go November 2022. Recently, the past, I won't go to full detail on explaining visa bulletin, but for those that know about it, I do have a video, or yeah, another episode that explains the visa bulletin. But anyway, let's say F2A is for spouses sponsored by a permanent resident. You scroll down here, F2A is current. Okay, it's current all the way, chart A and B. That's great. That's great news. So for those who are residents and you have a beneficiary, a spouse outside America, that's completely fine. That's great. You don't have an issue about unlawful presence, nothing like that. However, if your spouse is in the United States, most likely, can't assume for everyone, but most likely your spouse has overstayed their visa. So if that's the case, then the unlawful presence is not waived automatically. So that's just one example. The other thing is if you become a U.S. citizen as a sponsor, then any work that your spouse has done, your foreign national spouse um, or immigrant spouse, there's a lot of phrasing labels that we use in the immigration world, but if they have been working without authorization, boom, that is waived also. So that's two huge benefits for you as a sponsor who if you become a U.S. citizen. Okay, so here's a third major tip: if you file the petition as a resident, but then you do end up becoming a citizen, and then you wonder, can I use that first petition that I filed as a resident? Unfortunately, you cannot. USCIS, their funds to pay, their staff and everything within USCIS is not funded by Congress. So think about that. They need to make money. Okay. So that's one way to remember that you do need to file a new petition based on you being a US citizen at the time of filing. Okay. At the time of filing is what we look at. All right. So sharing this because you might think, okay, well, petition 535, let me save that money. Where are you going to lose all the time? Because eventually, when you maybe have the marriage interview with USCIS, and you get to the interview, and the officer is going to say, look, y'all, I'm sorry, I cannot approve this because you should have filed a petition. Not should have, you had to have filed a petition when you were a U.S. citizen. So therefore, I cannot approve this, and unlawful presence has not been waived automatically, and any work you've done without a work permit is not waived automatically. So that's why it's very important to consult with a lawyer, okay, to verify these things. That's just one of many reasons to hire a lawyer. Of course, depending on your budget, I get it. And that's why we have this YouTube channel to share tips like this so you can prevent this type of problem of a delay. Okay. And because a lot of people have called us and said very similar situation. So everything I usually share with you it's real life scenario. Okay. It's not just me reading the books. It's people's real life scenario. It's not just a hypothetical. Okay. Let's see what else to share with you. But yeah, let me find the page that talks about the actual inapplicability of these bars of adjustment. Okay. Okay, here we go. Because I want you to know I'm not just making this stuff up. It's right here in the policy manual for USCIS. Okay. By the way, if you have any questions in the meantime, welcome to drop it in the comment section. And if you're just tuning in, we do offer free 15-minute preliminary discussion. And let me just move this over. The best way to get there, to do that, okay, to access that free consult, you go to greencardguys.com, our website, click on contact us or click on take quiz. Just answer a couple questions. Our cares team would greatly appreciate that because they are on the phones all day long, and they do the best they can to guide you and help you schedule for a consultation with one of the attorneys. It might not be with me. I try to get in there every once in a while and share some tips, but we're growing and we have a couple attorneys to help you out in the meantime. Okay, but we review cases, strategy several days a week together as a team, legal team. So I hope you feel comfortable in that sense, so that you know that we're all verifying your strategy to see if there's a pathway for you. Unfortunately, it's not possible for everyone. It really depends on your facts. But the more you delay on checking if you're eligible, I hate to say, the higher possibility you might not get a chance to get that status. Okay. Just one quick example is that there is prosecutorial discretion, really usually through any president. Okay. However, of course, that didn't really exist. That was pretty much shut down by President Trump. But with President Biden, they've added a few things, okay, on there that President Obama, if I recall correctly, did not have. And that is, it includes people who have removal orders, okay? Now, if you're coming to me and you're calling and you're saying, John, I got a removal order. I made a mistake. I've been a great, good moral character ever since then, okay, many years. But if you're coming to me and say you don't have, we ask you if you have an immediate relative, it could be a adult. You can have an adult son or daughter over 21 that's U.S. citizen sponsoring you, or you can have a spouse that's a U.S. citizen sponsoring you. But if you don't have those, at least those two, then it's going to be a harder sell to the Department of Homeland Security attorneys. Okay, so hopefully that gives you an idea. All right, Faisal, you got. It's already been 13 months. It's done and still waiting for your passport. Your passport on hold. That hoarding a passport. Yeah, on hold. Oh my goodness. Faisal, come on. You gotta give us a call. You gotta give us a call. 720-740-4247. Okay, when you have a moment today, we're our lines are open until 6 p.m. Central Time, sometimes still 7 p.m. Central Time. But give us a call because, friends, if you're in a similar situation as Faisal, it is not right. Okay, you've had the interview September 16, 2021. It's been over a year, 13 months. This is ridiculous. And Faisal, I hope you're still on. If you are, let me know what happened after the interview. Did they give you a 221G, ask you for certain specific documents? Did they ask you to fill out the DS 5535? Or maybe they didn't give you anything. Okay. I'm sure you checked out your case status online. Let me share that. There was a bunch of things I was going to share. But let me open the other website here. Okay, so I like to start with a topic and then answer any questions. But let me share this one. Okay, you gotta check this website. Okay, oh, it's tiny here. Okay, this is the CEAC period state period GOV website. Okay, I'm gonna put it in here. This is for people who have cases where the foreign national is abroad. Okay, I just realized I could just post a comment here. Pretty cool. Okay, so anyway, you want to go to check my visa application status. You probably did this. Okay, you can pick non-immigrant or immigrant visa. Put in your case number that you got from NVC, and then type in the code that they scrambled here, and then click submit, and it will show you right here. Okay. Now here's the deal. Our team just got an approval, or approval in the sense that our client got their visa issued. We did not represent them at the beginning of the case or middle of the case. We represented them for the mandamus lawsuit. Okay. If you're not familiar with mandamus lawsuit, it's the formal legal name for a federal lawsuit to sue the U.S. immigration agencies based on case delays, or maybe they did give you a decision. That was another blooper. They gave you a decision, but it was a denial. And let's say you believe it's incorrect, of course. And we call that arbitrary and capricious. So, of course, our team will check that to see if you qualify for that type of lawsuit to file against the U.S. immigration agencies. For someone like Faisal, we would still sue like Department of Homeland Security, Department of State, the Attorney General. So I know it sounds like a lot. It sounds like it'd be intimidating, overwhelming. We will help you every step of the way for this kind of mandamus lawsuit. We actually have a client now that's not teaching, but a researcher at a university, well-known university in America, and he got H-1B approved. Okay, so he was in his country to get the visa stamp, and unfortunately, it seems like such a simple thing to get a freaking stamp, but you know, it's ridiculous. It's very frustrating. I'm sorry that all y'all are going through this case delays in general, but then also you're getting a visa refusal, and you're just filling out something like Faisal just said right here. You check the status, it shows refused, and you didn't have to do the DS 5535. Okay, that's great. We're gonna have a separate video sharing with you exactly what the 5535 is, the form, so that you're well prepared. Okay, so in the situation that you filed on your own, and your budget just doesn't allow to hire a lawyer, completely understand. We're gonna have a video about that so you can be prepared. Blooper again, prepared for this form in case they ask you. Because if they ask you, be like, hey, I got it right here, actually. So that would hopefully save you some time. Okay. Absolutely, Gabriel. Welcome to ask your question not related to the topic for today. And I'll see if we can answer it for you. Okay, so that was that website. Okay, let me share the other screen. In the meantime, while Gabriel's typing up his question, let me see. Okay, here's his other website related to the topic for today. It is right here. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. If you are a US citizen as a sponsor for your spouse, okay, doesn't have to be just spouse. It could be any immediate relative classification. Let's say you have a child, unmarried and under 21, and that's considered immediate relative. So here, Chapter 8 of the USCIS Policy Manual, inapplicability of bars to adjustment. Adjustment meaning residency status. So a lot of y'all, if you're new to the channel, welcome. This is how I like to share the source, okay? Because I realize on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all this, it can be very easy to trust someone with this information, but I'm pretty sure most of them, even attorneys, don't even share the source. Okay, so here it is. All right, so you can find this on uscs.gov website and find the policy manual. Okay, and I'm gonna put this in the comment section so you can see it. All right, I'm gonna wrap up the discussion on this one. Then Faisal, I'll get back to you, and hopefully Gabriel, if you have a question. But yeah, if you look down here, okay, specific to immediate relatives. It says an adjustment applicant applying as immediate relative may be eligible to adjust status, aka get the green card residency, even if you have ever been employed or currently without authorization, without the work permit. That's great. But your sponsor got to be a U.S. citizen. So if you are the foreign national beneficiary applicant watching this, talk to your spouse. Hey, buddy, become a U.S. citizen for me. Now, again, this takeaway here is if the beneficiary immigrant is here in the United States. That's where it matters the most. Now, of course, if you're abroad, it would be much faster if, the citizen, the sponsor become a U.S. citizen. But right now, currently, as I showed you earlier, the visa bulletin shows current. However, keep in mind that is just the second and third step. The first step is a petition, and USCIS generally takes almost like double the time if it's a family preference F2A. Just in general, family preference, they take a long time with processing these decisions for the petitions. So the visa bulletin can throw you off a little bit if it shows current, but you're like, what the heck? It's taking a long time with the petition. I should have just filed to become a citizen. So that's why I recommend for any pathway here, whether the immigrant foreign national is abroad or in the US, typically I recommend just become a US citizen. Okay. So if there's anything you can get out of that, I hope you get that. So here is the website again. The other thing, again, you can, if you don't have lawful status at the time, that's fine. You can still file the application and get approved. You do not have to maintain your status. Okay, so those are the three main ones, and you can have violated your terms and conditions of your non-immigrant status. Okay, now here's the thing. Violate meaning if you didn't go back to school, for example, an F1. Okay, but if you have a J1 and you have a 2-year restriction stamp on your passport, on your visa, then and you want to apply for adjustment, you need to apply. There's a couple different ways to waive that 2-year restriction. And just generally, if you're not familiar with this, but you're thinking about J1, this is just something to think about in the future. Okay. We like to share information that you know what can happen next steps, okay, down the line in your life, because boy, there's just a lot of decisions to make when it gets closer to visa expiration time. Okay. So, and the first thing, if you have a J1, one way to get waive that 2 years is that file a no objection letter, basically requesting a no objection from your country of nationality to see basically if they don't care or not. The What I understand, policy making reasons they have that is because U.S. is trying to help the other countries make sure that people from those other countries go back to their country, right? Because if you got education, bring that education back to your country to help improve the country, for example. That's what I think. Okay. But I don't know. I wasn't a politician back then or now. Let's see here. The second way, if that doesn't work for some reason, then you apply for a waiver based on hardship. Okay. From your spouse. Now, just like the episode, I think earlier this week or last week I was talking about hardship waivers, just because your family member doesn't qualifying relative, we call it legally, just because that family member does not have like hardship right at this moment, that doesn't necessarily you cannot apply. You can. Okay. So hopefully that helps. I just shared a lot of information right there, a lot of helpful tips. So hopefully, if you're, even if you're watching now, but you need to go back to it, welcome to do that. It's automatically published. Let's see here, Faisal. You send an inquiry every time, every month. U.S. Embassy, Islamabad, okay, in Pakistan. They reply back. It's automatic reply. Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, honestly, I'm glad they have some kind of reply, but yeah, it's still a bunch of BS. And they say your case is under administrative processing. Okay, and you need to wait. BS. You don't need to wait anymore. It's been a long time, Faisal. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Please correct me if I need to correct it. But yeah, it's been over a year. It's been 13 months for you. Now, if it was a situation like you had some kind of sketchy background, national security. That's the thing about countries in the Middle East. The U.S. government, without having specific, I'm not working in the government. I don't know for sure, but a lot of our clients are from the Middle East. When it comes to these mandamus cases and clients that are abroad, A lot of them are in the Middle East because of this like internal working. I can't say it's discrimination. You can make your own judgment, but 13 months, that's not normal. Okay. Maybe 1 month. That should be actually what should be normal is that they just, if they're going to ask you for specific information, they should have done that before the interview. But it just clearly shows that they're very unorganized. So unfortunately, you have to spend some more money and file a lawsuit against the government. Now, what we do here at Ting Law Group is, where you have the lawyer who helps you for these mandamus lawsuits have to be certified in that district court. Now, I'm not certified in every single district court, but we work with other attorneys, trusted attorneys that do help with mandamus, help their own clients with mandamus lawsuits, and they're familiar with it and they know what to do. Okay, we team up. And the reason why you would want to still hire our law firm is because we have certain processes. Okay, we prepare the complaint. Complaint is the lawsuit document. Okay, we prepare the complaint in a timely fashion. Um, to be honest, have not been able to be as timely as we wanted to the past couple weeks, and but that's mostly because we need to get certified in those district courts. But otherwise, the complaint itself is ready to go. Okay. Most law firms, just any case type that we help with, if you ask the other law firm, ask them. I can't help everyone. I can't help a. Whew, it'll be a lot of work on the team. But um, the thing is, you need to ask your lawyer, even if you have one currently, when are you going to file my case? I talked at a conference about this stuff. I I share it in groups. People are surprised. It's kind of crazy. You would think that if you think about it really, if you're paying a lawyer, a professional, even though like here in the US, I know during the pandemic people have been having bad stories about like contractors, getting their house remodeled inside or outside. No contractor likes to tell you exactly when they're going to get the job done because they have so many factors. Okay, like materials, I get that. Materials or people not working because of COVID, get that. I understand. But with lawyers, we have less of an excuse, okay? So yeah, think about that. We have 3 if there was a situation we could help you, um, see a couple more comments. Okay, thanks. I'll get to those soon. If there's a situation we can help you, we do offer 3 membership plans: Light, Pro, and Max. And here's the reason we have 3. Okay, it's not too many options, but it's enough options to help you understand that if you want the max service, we're going to file your case, whether it's like filing for residency or a temporary work visa or even a mandamus lawsuit. We will file that in a timely manner. Okay, usually for a mandamus kind of case, it's 7 days, um, or up to 30 days, or up to 3 days. Okay. 3 days, I believe, is the max. Okay. So it used to be 24 hours, but we realize that's not too is being too intentional. But now we had to roll it back a little bit because of some courts where you live, we need to get certified or have a sponsor to get us admitted. Okay. We call it Pro Hack Fiche. So, anyways, okay, Tanya. Is federal disability workers' compensation a deniable income? You're a postal worker. Thanks for your service. I know has not been easy, even before the pandemic. Okay, let's see here. Let me find the page about that. Okay, so are you the? Well, I guess whether you're the main sponsor or not. I haven't had that question actually. Okay, let me see if we can find it right now. Okay, let me share my screen. Gabriel, thanks for your question. Or in comment. I'll try to get to it soon. Hopefully, I can find this answer for you. Okay, where I am right now. Okay, uh, Tanya, um, is the 864. Okay, this is the form number, or actually the 864P. But anyway, federal disability workers compensation. Huh. Okay. Well, this says programs not included, meaning in the sense that you can still like obtain these benefits and not have it affect you. Okay. Um, let's go to the 864 itself because it has instructions there. Okay, this is what it looks like. The instructions. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't pop up another page. Okay, there it is. So you can scroll down here. It has a lot of information. I think right here it said, okay, income. What counts as income? You know what? I may have to do I might have to do a well, typically any income you have when you're filing a tax return, any weight or any money you receive is counted as income. Okay. So hopefully that helps in that sense. I haven't seen anything to say that cannot count specifically. Okay. Um, let me go back one here. So instruction page is one great place, but I do realize with that question, which is great to read about, I need to make a separate video just about this kind of situation. So, but going back one more page, another one that'd be helpful is a policy manual. Public charge. It might not say it exactly right here, but yes, without looking at it as yeah, if it's considered income, if you had to file tax on it, I would say it's included. You can use it as income. So, but I think was it yesterday? Yesterday I had a video. We talked about joint sponsorships or trying to find a way to sponsor without a joint sponsor. So check that out. Okay, if you have time. But yeah, we'll make a separate video about that. Okay, Tonya. Gabriel, let's see. Can I go back to the US? Okay, so you're abroad right now. You got permanent residency. You stayed outside the US for 18 years. That's gonna be a tough one there. Your mom and yourself went back to Philippines. Continue medical procedure. I'm sorry to hear that, but that's gonna be tough. 2003. Whew, I'm sorry, Gabriel. She had cancer. It's more power to the family members that take care of your family and friends that have cancer, especially. I wish you all the best. Family business guy. Okay. After. Okay. And then you said you're a minor. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry all this happened. And okay. So residency. The government. If you were to fly back into America, doesn't matter which port of entry airport. The customs officer, when they swipe your card or take your biometrics, all that, they're going to see that you have not entered America in a very, very long time. The general rule is that you have to have entered or maintain your status every year. Now, that's 6 months every year. It does not have to be 6 straight months. Okay. Doesn't have to be consecutive, but you have to have at least six. Now, if for people who don't have those 6 months every year, but you're going to stay outside of the US for longer, you need to apply for reentry permit. So to Gabriel, that's just a general overview. To Gabriel, you can file you on the Department of State website. Okay, if you Google search it or Bing search it, SB1. Okay, I'm going to put it here in the comment section. SB1. Now, if you're probably going to have a really hard time with it because it's been a long time. Because if it was, let's say, for example, 2004, and then you're trying to come back in and provide the evidence of your mom having cancer and the family business, you're trying to take care of it, but of course you were young, um, then and provide that evidence, then yeah, possibly more likely than now that the government would approve your SB1, or you could have re-entered at that time legally. But now, if you're coming to America now, there, I hate to say it, but you might be wasting your money doing that. You might have to get sponsored again. So I know it's weird because you have this card residency. So what do? Do you reapply? Do you have to sign a form? about all that. So we're going to provide another video about this. But if you do want to try, you could. I mean, lawyers like to be black and white. When someone asked me, I think a year ago by now, to look into the case, of course, check it out. It's like I don't know, car mechanic. You got to dig. We have to dig in and look at all the documents and verify. By the way, if you're waiting for the secret code, I'm going to share it very soon. But yeah, just want to give an example of this person was a conditional resident, and you have to remove those conditions, within 3 months of it expiring. Okay, you got 2 years of the conditional card, and this person had filed an application to remove those conditions, but I think she filed on her own or something, or said that she hired someone else who's not a lawyer. Which, by the way, if you have not hired a lawyer at all yet, but we're thinking about a consultant or notario, please really speak to a lawyer first. Don't get discouraged about the pricing. Talk to a couple of lawyers. Don't skip it and then go to like a notario and a consultant. Okay, I can understand why, but they don't have the legal background to give you all these tips I've just shared with you. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if one of those consultants takes these tips from all these videos, that not just our shows, but someone else's shows, and puts it together as their own. So just be careful out there when you're getting advice. Okay, so that's why it's still important to give us a call, schedule an appointment with our team. And on that note, before I forget, I'm going to go ahead, Gabriel, I'm going to take a look at your comment here, but I do want to share the secret code. Okay, here's the benefits of hiring our team, and the secret code Green Card Guys on the bottom left of your screen. You could have guessed it, but of course, I always like to share it anyway like this. And I shared earlier how to access, go to our website, greencardguys.com, click on Contact Us, and scroll down and answer a couple questions. It'll take you to the next page to self-schedule an appointment. But of course, if you prefer to call in, you're always welcome to do that. Our lines are open until 6 p.m. Central Time, sometimes till 7. All right, so Gabriel, yeah, it's that old. You got your baby picture on it. Hold on to it. Don't lose it. It has a sticker on the back. Extend the validity to March 20, 2004. Yeah, it's been, well, since that time. It's what, 2022? Is that the year we're in right now? So about 18, a little over 18 years for you, Gabriel. It's going to be tough. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah. So anyway, that example, that could be, I don't know, helpful to Gabriel or not, but example, I found out, looked into the system for the court system. She was ordered removed, absentia. The absentia means you should have been there, but you were ordered removed because you weren't there automatically. The judge didn't even look into the case because you weren't there. So, side note, hot tip: if you have any kind of court proceeding or USCIS tells you they're going to refer you to immigration court, make sure that the government has your updated address. And when I mean government, I mean USCIS. Okay, because they're going to use that address to mail you the document. So we have used the reasoning of not receiving the notice and got that reopened, but it doesn't work for everyone. It really depends on the specific facts. So still somewhat related to Gabriel in the sense that, anyway, this person was ordered absentia. She emailed me after she flew in to America, and she was able to get back in. I thought that was wild. I double checked with a couple of my colleagues and friends, immigration lawyers, on this before she came back, and yeah, everyone said she was not supposed to be able to come back. So, not trying to encourage you, Gabriel, but I know there's a lot of people in your shoes, similar shoes, in the sense that, especially because pandemic, you've been out of America. But for those who are contemplating and leaving for a certain amount of time, even if it's like 2 months, a vacation, whatever it is, if you just have a feeling you're the type of person that might extend that stay longer, apply for the reentry permit. And unfortunately, it's not a quick thing. Okay, those take a long time, average 5-6 months. Okay, so you need to pre-plan. You need to really plan ahead of time. Okay, if you're considering it to leave. All right, especially if you have a job that's abroad. Okay, I've heard about people who say, "Well, my job requires me to go there." Too bad, so sad. The USCIS will say, or the State Department will say, and Customs will say, No one told you had to take that job. You could have just applied somewhere else. I get it. Maybe you love your job. Maybe you can only maybe you just have to work that job, that with that company. But that's what the government's going to tell you. You could have worked somewhere else. Okay. So thanks for tuning in. I got to jump to a meeting. Appreciate it. And until next time, friends, stay tuned and stay safe. See you tomorrow.